Hey guys, what is up? It is Final Hour here. Welcome to another one of my videos. In this video, I just want to show you guys a really cool website that I have stumbled upon looking at the forums, and it's actually showing what they're changing in the preseason and what their main focus is to introduce the preseason and what's to come in Season 4. So I'm on the page right now, and as you guys can see, the website is preseason.na.leagueoflegends.com. I will be posting this in the description below, so you don't have to type that out. You could just click a link. It's really simple. And here are the things that they're pretty much changing. As you can see, roles and positions. The support role is getting a lot more gold now, and I think that's really interesting, and it adds like another element to the support role because let's face it, now in Season 3, pretty much the supports are there to CC or to exhaust the ADC. That's pretty much all they're good for. Oh, as well as warding. They get blamed so hard if they don't ward. Well, pretty much now, with the preseason changes rolling out, I think sometime this week actually, which I'm pretty stoked for. It's going to take the burden of supports warding. Like I think the maximum ward count is now 3. So it's pretty much going to allow them to have more gold and to build different items that are going to help them in lane, as well as reach a better maximum potential late game, which I think is really interesting. And as you guys can see, there are new support items here: Spell Thief's Edge, Ancient Coin, Relic Shield, and pretty much you're going to build one of these 3 depending on what your AD needs and how the lane is going. If you're losing, maybe you'll build one. If you're winning, maybe you build another. Or if you need, I don't know, maybe if you need more gold or something, you build something. But yeah, this is definitely going to change, I think. I don't think it's going to stay like this forever. But here are some introductions. Passive, basic attacks against champions grant 4 gold. This one, being near a minion death without dealing the killing blows grants 2 gold. That's pretty interesting. And the last one, basic attacks execute minions below 200 health. Killing a minion heals the nearest allied champion for 2% of your maximum health and grants them kill plus 5 gold. So each of these have like a unique attribute, and like I'm pretty sure that like one of these are for aggression, another of these are for passiveness, and then another one's for like sustainability in lane. I just don't know which one's which, but I'll read upon that later. And as you guys can see, here are the supports: Soraka, Taric, Janna, Nami, Sona, and Lulu. They should also add like Fiddlesticks and Annie and Zyra here because they're all actually very viable supports because like just their kit makes them so viable, and on top of that, like they do really well. Like Zyra has a CC, an ult that's like crazy good, and like Annie is like tanky as shit with her E ability as well as stun like the whole team. And Fiddlesticks is self-explanatory. He just presses Q and you're just dancing like a fucking idiot for 3 seconds. So yeah, all of those are really good supports, so they should add them on here. But I guess they're just like, no, we want supports to become supports again. So that's why they have a picture of Soraka, Taric, truly, truly, truly outrageous. Where is Ezreal? So, yeah, that's Taric, Janna, Nami, Blub Blub, Sona, Tiggle, Biddies, dude. Them titties are huge. And then Lulu. She's purple. Nothing else to say about that. So also we have position jungles changing. Let's be honest. In Season 3, junglers are pretty much second supports, and it was really evident in the middle of Season 3 when Runic Bulwark existed, and Riot doesn't want junglers to be second supports because I think they're trying to get away from the support role altogether. That's why they're buffing supports. That's why they're giving them more gold, because they want the support role to actually mean something. And if they want the support role to mean something, then you can't have like a second support role. You're going to have to give them more gold and more XP, and that's what they're doing with the jungle. Here are the jungle item changes. I'm not going to go into great detail since you guys can check this website out yourself. I just want to bring into the light that this website exists, and it's going to change periodically as they do this PBE testing, and eventually it's going to actually come onto the live game, and then we can see what needs to be changed, what's OP, what's up, underpowered, and what's actually balanced. So yeah, they also changed a lot of stuff, such as Banner of Command. I really want to use Banner of Command one of these games. I just can't wait for this update. I don't know why. Banner of Command seems a lot better than it was before, and I really want to use it. And the infamous Ohm Wrecker. If you built this in Season 3, you were a troll because it is a shitty item. Some supports will argue with me about that, but no, it's a bad item. Don't build it. And then they also changed Will of the Ancients, which is apparently a support item now, as well as Twin Shadows. I think they gave it more ability power, but you still have that movement speed bonus, which is great. So yeah, that's the roles and position changes. For the game flow changes, it's actually really interesting because now when you walk through a bush, the bushes move. They don't stand still anymore. So you'll know if a jungler's trying to gank your lane if you see the bush move, or what else? If I don't know, if your opponent's standing still, you won't really know if they're there, but you'll just know. You'll just have more time, I guess, to react to someone now when they're top lane, they're trying to gank you, and you'll see that brush move, and you're like, oh shit, I gotta get the fuck out of here. That should signal all different types of warning signs. If your opponent's laning with you, and then you just see that brush move top, you should just say GTFO, I'm out of here. So yeah, that's a really interesting change that the bushes now move. And also another change is that in the jungle itself, they pretty much trimmed down on a lot of the bushes. They took out their chainsaw and were like, vroom, 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 cutting this one, cutting that one. Oh, this one's too long. And they pretty much made it. The reason why they did that is so that you don't have to spend multiple wards on just one area. Like, for instance, at Blue Buff, there's like that C-shaped bush, and now they pretty much made it just like a straight line. It's like in front of the blue bush. But anyway, they made it so warding is a lot easier, and again, they really want to promote that everyone needs to ward in order to win games, not just to support. So they're making warding kind of easier. That way, it's not as big a burden to ward, which I guess is really good for a lot of us that, let's face it, we were all bronze and silver at one point. We didn't use wards. We thought that was bullshit, and that was just a waste of money. As I'm climbing in the elo, I'm actually gold 1 now, about to be plat 5. I realized that warding is essential to win games, and it can win a game, it could lose a game, because it could catch people out of position and you need to close in on that person, or it could just show a variety of different things, such as like if dragon's being taken, if baron's being taken, and it just gives you so much power and so much positioning advantage that it could seriously single-handedly win you a game. That 75 gold can honestly be the difference between life and death. And I'm going to say it right now, wards are probably the most OP thing in the game, and people don't realize it, because you take a 75 gold investment and you can win a game because of it. Like, how fucking broken is that shit? It's unfortunate that bronze and silvers don't see that, but now since I'm gold 1 and I'm climbing, and probably as I climb to plat, I'll realize more and more how important warding is, even though I know it's important to shit right now. And yeah, so that's what they're changing with the bush changes as well as the ward changes. And I think I said this earlier in the video, now people can only place 3 wards at a time. So like the support can only place 3 wards. If she places 4, the first one that she placed will disappear, and so on and so forth. So can't really blame your support for warding anymore and placing 30 million wards. Everyone has to do it. As for the jungle, they placed a new camp, and I think this is really interesting because it's going along the fact that they want to place more gold in the jungle. They want to place more overall gold in the jungle and support positions. So another additional jungle camp will do that for you. And it's also going to help carry junglers, because right now it's pretty much just junglers who can kind of build supporty, build tanky, that are winning games. But now with this additional jungle camp, people like Nocturne, people like, who else can build kind of assassin-y? I don't know. But I know Nocturne's one of them, and it just allows them to build items that you couldn't build before. Like before, you just had to build Spirit of the Ancient Golem, Randuin's, Boring, who wants to just tank all day. Now, people like Nocturne can build Blade of the Ruined King, go in there, bork them, fear them, destroy them. And I just think that adds another element to the jungle, and something that I'm really excited about. Also, another thing, I think the jungle camps scale in terms of your team's overall level. So let's say if your team's overall level is like 13 and that's lower than the other team's overall level, then the jungle camps give you more experience. And I think that's the primary main focus of Season 4, is to prevent massive snowballing and massive like you get first kill, first tower, you automatically lose the game. Like, they want to create opportunities where you can come back, make Oh my god, sorry, I just burped. Make plays and just overall, um, just not lose early game right away. So I think that's really interesting. Also, they changed Dragon to pretty much where Dragon's now a game changer. Let's put it that way. Um, if your team is behind drastically, and if you get Dragon, you're going to be back in the game. And once again, this idea of snowballing, they really want to focus on snowballing in Season 4. Like, if anyone watched Worlds right now, like, let's be honest, whoever got, like, first tower, it just immediately won them the game so hard. Like, you really couldn't do much. You had to get towers constantly. And pretty much the game was decided within 15 and 20 minutes because this is what would happen. So let's say top laner gets tower first. Um, it would give 150 gold to everyone, and since they're pro players, they obviously can take advantage of that extra 150 gold, and that will put them ahead of their opponent. They could hit that first power spike first, they would go back into lane, kill their opponent, get the tower, and then it'll help all the lanes again, and again, and again, and then you're at their Nexus tower laughing because you're winning the game, obviously. So the primary focus here, I think, is that they really want to focus on snowballing. They don't want to make it so, okay, you die once in lane, you automatically lose the game. Now, sure, there is a trade-off to this. If you're 6-0 in lane, you should still be able to carry and easily win the game because you spaced yourself enough from your opponent. That way you can easily snowball the game and win. But like, if you just make one simple mistake and you're 0-1, it shouldn't cost you the game because you go 0-1. You know what I'm saying? So it's not necessarily noob friendly because that's what I hear a lot of people saying. Oh, this is just catering to the noobs. They die first and then they complain that they can't come back in lane. No, it's just that sometimes there's some things that like you can't control, like a jungler ganking and diving you and getting first blood, and then you absolutely can't do anything. You just get face rolled and you can't do shit for the rest of the game. So that's what I think they're trying to prevent. They're not trying to make it more noob friendly, but yeah, okay. Back to the picture. Trinkets, as you guys can see, they're adding a warding totem, a sweeping lens, and scrying orb. From what I've got from notes that I read on the forums, this one's pretty much a scouter. This one is to get rid of wards, and this one places wards. And I think it's kind of interesting that you could go two ways with this trinket, and the other ones you only could go one. Adds another element to it. I think it's pretty interesting. Turrets and inhibitors, pretty self-explanatory. Trying to reduce snowballing. So with turrets, the person who gets the kill gets 250 gold. Everyone else gets 75. Inhibitors, they're making inhibitors come up faster, so that way you're not just stuck in the base defending all the time. Death timers, they're reducing. That way you could get back into lane, which kind of makes sense, but then kind of doesn't, because if you die early, come back into lane and die again, then that's counterproductive. But yeah, it's just making it so if you go 0-1, what? Let's X that out. Stupid Windows 7. Jesus, even though Windows 7 is better than Windows 8. Keep that in mind. But yeah, death timers. If you go 0-1, you could go back in the lane and farm again. Bounties, kill streaks, and assists have been refined. For example, we're cutting the benefit of early kills to reduce early first blood snowballing. Again, focusing on snowballing. I think that's the main focus in Season 4. They really just want to reduce that so mid-game champions and late-game champions can become viable again and increase the champion pool, because let's face it, in World Season 3 there was like 2 champions in each lane that were broken as shit, and like you couldn't pick anyone else. So yeah, that's the game flow changes and the pre-game changes. Here are all the runes and masteries. If you guys want to see which each one does, then you could just click on all of these and see what they actually do. I think this is actually really cool because you could actually see what masteries you want for Season 4, and they changed a lot. Like defense is really weird. Like, look, reduces the effectiveness and slows by 10%. You only need 1 now instead of now where I think it's 2 or 3. So yeah, they just retuned the masteries, and I'm sure this is bound to change as the preseason goes on into Season 4. And as well as summoner spells, they improved the look of Smite. Look at that shit. It looks like you're fucking kaboom dragon, kaboom baron. That's really cool. Revive will only be available in Dominion. That's pretty weird. I think they would buff it so it would actually be viable in Summoner's Rift. But yeah, I I think all the other ones stay the same for the most part, but they'll probably change it periodically as it goes. And runes, they have not posted much about, but pretty much they're trying to retune runes and refine them so the same 10 runes don't get used over and over. So, yeah, that's pretty much it for my introduction into the preseason page. Once again, I will put it in the description below so you guys don't have to type this all out. But yeah, I think it's really interesting, and this idea of snowballing they really want to reduce. That way, champions that are meant for mid game and meant for late game can shine, and it's not just early game faithful stomp or pub stompers rather, such as Riven and Caitlyn, just like completely bullying their lane, and then you can't do shit for the rest of the game. So I think that's really interesting. So yeah, that's it. This has been Final Hour. If you like this video, please comment, rate, and subscribe, because I will be making videos periodically. On a variety of different things, such as me making videos like this, making videos on how to play certain champions. I do main AD carry, so I will be making a lot of videos about that. But from time to time, I'll go mid lane and top lane and jungle and show you guys how to do that. Now, I know I'm not a pro. I don't have like the godliest mechanics in the world, except for AD carry. He will not beat me ADC no matter what. Yep, I'm talking to you, Double Lift. I'm talking to you, Wild Turtle. I'm calling you out. No, I'm just kidding. But yeah, I will be showing like how to play Ashe, how to play Vayne, how to play Twitch, how to play Jarvan, how to play who else? Why am I blanking? There's 150 champions in this game. How to play LeBlanc, you know? So I'll play a whole different bunch of champions, not just one. And also provide guides and updates that happen. Like, let's say if patch 4.1 comes out, I'll make a video about that and see how that will change the meta and whatnot. So, yeah, that's it. This has been Final Hour. Once again, comment, rate, and subscribe. And I'm out of here, guys. Peace out.